If you don't pay the bond, your body is held as surety for the bond while they collect from your assessed to QV trust that you don't even know you have. Do you understand those are all banking terms? So what is a court? Look up the word court in a legal dictionary. It says C bank, C post office. You look up the word judge, it says C banker, C postmaster. Everything is banking. Do you know you have a 72-hour right of rescission on everything? You get a ticket from a police officer and he gives you a ticket for speeding down the road. You can rescind that ticket within 72 hours. So I didn't ask, do we have any police officers in the room? Any attorneys? Any government agents? That's a shame. I wish you guys had some of those around because I'd love to debate them for just a little bit.
So how do you do that right of rescission on the ticket?
I take a red Sharpie at a 45-degree angle. I write, your offer to contract is not accepted while traveling in my private automobile. You operate under Title 18, Section 241 and 242 as a conspiracy to deprive me of my rights under the color of law. And I mail it back in.
Even if it's speeding, no matter what?
Here's some case law. Operation of a motor vehicle upon public streets and highways is not a mere privilege, but is a right or liberty protected by the guarantees of federal and state constitutions. The use of the highways for the purpose of travel and transportation is not a mere privilege, but a common and fundamental right of which the public and the individual cannot be rightfully deprived. No state government entity has the power to allow or deny passage upon the highways. Transporting his vehicles and personal property for either recreation or business, travel is not a privilege that can be permitted at will with forced insurances, registration, or licensing, but a common and fundamental right of liberty granted by the Constitution. Okay.
Where can we find that?
The use of the automobile, I got pages and pages and pages. I carry a folder in my pickup like this that is about that thick. And no cop can argue with it. It's got Supreme Court decisions, it's got case law, it's got everything. What is case law, by the way?
Already determined cases.
No, it's the opine, the opinion of a judge. It's somebody's opinion. Do you understand no matter what side of the fence you're on or what subject you're arguing about, you can find case law that supports your opinion? Okay? What do attorneys get taught in law school? Case law, case law, case law, case law. That's it. I've proved to attorneys before that they didn't learn the law in law school. See, there's three types of law. There's superior law, supreme law, and corporate bylaws. That's it. Supreme law is laws given to us by God. They're unalienable. Okay? They're the 10 Commandments and more. It's not just 10, guys. That's just the most important ones. Okay? They're unalienable. Supreme law, and the whole reason we have state and federal Supreme Courts, is our constitutions and our treaties. Those are supreme laws. The purpose of the Supreme Court is to see if a lower court decision conforms to the constitutions and treaties of the United States of America. That's their only job. When the Supreme Court hears a case, and by the way, you got a 5% chance of getting a case before the Supreme Court. 5%, that's it. Out of all the ones that are submitted, only 5% get heard. But their only job is to see if the decisions of the lower courts conform to our constitutions and treaties. Do you know that's we the people's job? It's not up to them. We're supposed to nullify them. We're supposed to nullify them through our juries, and we're supposed to nullify them every time we get a letter in the mail that's addressed to our all caps name. When you get a letter in the mail, you have a 72-hour right to rescind. To correct the errors our public servants make and to educate them so they don't do it again. That's your job. That's all of our jobs. And you know what we haven't done the last 100 years? We haven't corrected any of their errors. They make these tremendous, they call clerical errors, and we don't correct them. Then we acquiesce. Government operates through the consent of the governed. What does that mean? That means they presume something. See if you guys can see this. They presume something. They assume something. They get your tacit agreement that you're a citizen, person, and a resident, so you need CPR. And then they use hearsay to convict you, put you in jail, charge you a fine or a fee or a tax or whatever it may be. They say it's to tax the poor which might not otherwise be taxed. So they lead you down a path. They railroad you. What is the legal definition of the term railroad? To lead someone down a narrow path or rail to a predetermined outcome or conclusion. Predetermined. How do I know it's predetermined? I'll tell you my best confirmation of it. About 5 years ago, in the 9th District Federal Courthouse in front of Judge Mosman, the lead judge of the 9th District, which was known as the most liberal district of our federal courts, I brought a case. And the case I brought was basically, there was a grandmother who was found guilty before I met her by a jury. She was tried and found guilty of 4 felony counts of fraud. She did nothing wrong. Nothing. But they spent 4 days in a trial railroading her and then gave her half a day to defend herself and denied all of her witnesses, denied all of her evidence. What's she going to do then? Don't you have a right to defend yourself? Don't you have a right to face your accusers? They didn't care. They said, basically told her she had no rights. She couldn't bring the Constitution up in the courtroom. They did the same thing to Shauna Cox and Ryan Bundy, the Bundys.